I'm Janice B. Gordon and welcome to the Business Show. I have Martyn Harriott here from the Beverages Standards Association. Hello, Martyn.
Hello, Janice.
Now, tell me more about the association.
Well, the association was founded in 1996, and it was designed to work with companies who are operating in the out-of-home business. So that's people who are supplying cafes, restaurants, hotels, and also manufacturers of ingredients and water filters, etc.
But that's not all that it does now.
Well, no, over the years we've changed. Originally, we were called the Beverage Service Association. However, just over 5 years ago, our members, who we work on behalf of, asked us to change the name to the Beverage Standards Association. And the reason they wanted us to do that was because we were seeing massive changes in terms of training, and also we had then begun to get involved with the City and Guilds Association, whose standards are very high, and we know those people from years ago. So we took that opportunity to rebrand the organisation on behalf of our members and change to the Beverage Standards Association. And at the same time, we also went ahead and concentrated on 3 areas. Education being one of them, and what we mean by that is being able to educate through training undertaken through the City and Guilds, where we have 15 training centres throughout the UK, from Scotland in the north, down through London, and then down into Cornwall. And also we were very much involved with networking and having, I call them master classes, where people could come along and learn about how to make coffee, tea, and then we've finally driven that through to the final part, which is called the Beverage Standards Awards, which are up and running at the moment.
All right, I want to investigate that a little bit more. But first, can you give me a bit more information about the kind of people, members that would join the association? Because am I right in thinking it's mainly independent retailers?
It is, but it's a very eclectic mix. And in a way, it's understanding the structure of the marketplace to position our members, in as much that you have associations that do look after retail from the sharp end, and then you have different organisations that deal with beverages. So you'll have the British Coffee Association, you'll have the tea organisations, and where we fit as the Beverage Standards Association is between those 2 areas. So our members will start from large manufacturers such as Brita, 3M, through to roasters who are perhaps well-known names in the high street. So you'll have people like Taylor's, our members, but then we'll have people who are roasting coffee purely own label. So that'll be Master Roast is an example of that. Then we move into the distributors, and that's who type of business that I run, called Complete Beverage Solutions, where we're buying products from the manufacturers and then distributing them down to the retailers. The retailers are a very important part of our association, and it is our biggest growing area, and they get involved primarily because they want to educate and train in the awards, but they also want some of the information that we bring through on our technical side and also through our magazines called Raising Beverage Standards.
There's a lot more to tea and coffee than most people might think. It's an organic product and needs to be nurtured. So tell me a little bit more about the source of the product.
That's a great question, and the way the association is involved in that is not on a direct basis, because many of our members will be going direct to source to buy their coffee, predominantly as well if they want to make sure that the coffee or the tea is a product specific from an area of growing, and that will then develop from onwards. But now the way the market has changed through communication, a lot of retailers are buying direct from estates. So they will visit maybe East Africa, maybe Central America. They will build a relationship and a rapport with those estates, because a lot of coffee growing areas may only produce as little as 10 or 15, 60 kilo bags a year, which would generally go into a cooperative. But the quality of those coffees, there could be acidity in those coffees, a little bit of robustness. So they will agree to buy those coffees from the estate and have them shipped over and roasted.
I'm interested as to how independent retailers, coffee shops, tea shops are able to compete, how they're surviving against the big brands that are on the high streets that seem to really have taken over many of the high streets.
Yes, you're right. And the great news is that there is room on the high street for both. However, the big brands have, what shall I call it? They have a structure, they have a marketing behind them, and a lot of financial clout as well, which allows them to build very quickly through that marketplace. However, the independents have a point of difference. They will be family run. Even if there's maybe 6 or 7 in the chain, we still see that as a family-run business. Examples could be Silvio's in London, Rhode Island Coffee up in the Manchester area. They still have that ethos of being family-run. Also, the independents can offer a plethora of products that are not necessarily available from the brands, and by that, in terms of coffee, they probably are able to offer a coffee of the week or a coffee of the month. They can probably change the coffee, the way they produce it, much easier. Same with teas. They will probably offer fresh leaf teas rather than a tea bag tea. Nothing wrong with tea bags, but nothing better than coming in and getting the choice of a fantastic oolong or a Darjeeling tea. And again, I'd probably say the same with chocolate. They're in a position to offer a chocolate product. I again can use an example. Last year's Beverage Standards Awards winner for Best Hot Chocolate, Cafe Lycius in Swindon, buys a product from Cocoa Collection, and they take callets of chocolate and they melt them and then add the milk to it to give it a really depth flavour. And you can have white chocolate, 70% dark chocolate, 60%, and that's the flexibility you will get from that type of operation, which means that people will return time and time again.
I think the public's not really aware that when we're talking about coffee and teas and hot chocolate, it's actually you can know as much about these products as wine. It's very, very similar. There's so much information. And my perception of the big brands, they often obviously buy in bulk, and they can buy cheap, and they can roast the hell out of it and call that flavour. So I'm one of those people that will go out looking for independent shops, because you're absolutely right. You get a completely different service. You get to experiment more variety of the beans and the different variety and flavours of beans. So it's not just the bog standard stuff that's churned out. So I would certainly urge customers to visit independent shops, because you get a wider variety of flavour. I wanted to talk to you about the awards, because a lot of the independents will get to know about the association through this credited award. So give me a brief explanation as to how they can access it and what it really does for their business.
Well, the awards now have been running for over 5 years. We describe them as the opportunity for the independents to shine out in their local area. And you can find out more about the awards by visiting our website, which is www.beverage standardsassociation.co.uk. And on there you'll find out more on what the awards are involved with. They're split into two parts. There's an accreditation, which means that you can earn up to 5 cups, and then there's 7 Best Drinks Awards, which is Best Espresso through Best Milk-Based, Best Tea and Best Chocolate. You will be assessed by a mystery shopper. Each of our 30 plus assessors have been trained to a high standard by John Skinner, who is a City and Guilds trained assessor, which means that we will come into your establishment, as I say, totally unannounced, and at the end of the assessment, when we've filled everything in, we will briefly talk to you about what you're doing well. I'd like to point out, and I think this is an important part, is people often think that when you're assessed by us, we're really coming in to find the faults. We're not. What we're coming in to do is show you what you're doing really well, and then how you can improve upon that and move forward. Yes, we're bound to find challenges. But if we can give you some pointers, and a great example of success is a company in West Hallam in Derbyshire called the Bottle Kiln. When they first started, they were a 3 cup. Over 4 years, they've become they've become a 5 cup establishment. They won Best Cappuccino 2 years ago, and their manager is also been involved in the UK Barista Championships. They've also seen their business increase considerably on the back of this success, which is great. The same again for Cafe Lycius, who won the best drink. Last year, after they were presented with the awards, they did some PR locally. They saw an increase in footfall of 100%. People coming in, having seen those results. That is some of the benefits you can bring to your business. It's important. We work inside our business. I work inside mine. Often you're missing a trick or two. When what we're trying to do with the awards is open the door so that you can see what and how you can improve your business.
That's excellent. Thank you very much, Martyn. It's a great summary, and a very important reason for the retailers to actually join the association. Yes. It can bring more business and it raises the standards as well. So thank you for joining us. This is Janice B. Gordon speaking to Martyn of Beverage Standards Association. This is the Business Show. So thank you very much.